In this video, I will break down the only sales process that you need to scale your business to $50,000 per month. And if you don't know, my name is Nick Warner, and I've worked with over 100 different detailers and shop owners in the last 10 months, teaching them how to increase their business's revenue using a high-ticket sales process. My goal for you is by the end of this video, you can take all of this information, create your own sales process, and increase your close rate by a minimum of 10%. That way you can start generating more revenue without having to spend any additional money on paid advertising. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. I have a full document I will break down. That way we can run through everything together. Now, there's about 9 or 10 different points that we're gonna cover today. And before we jump into it, one thing that's super important, and I want you to take note of this, is you can take all of this information that I'm providing to you right now, but if you don't know how to be a human, be personal, and actually be genuine when you're talking to your prospects on the other end of a phone call, you're never gonna be good at sales. Because you could have the best script possible, but if you don't know how to build trust when you're talking to someone and you can't get someone to like you, they're not gonna wanna purchase from you. So what I want you to take note of is take all this information, take notes on everything, write your own script, but don't forget to be human and genuinely care about the outcome and the results that you're getting for your clients. Because if you can pair the two of those together, you will be really good at sales. So first thing we're gonna cover is how you should start a call. And this is assuming that a lead is coming to you. So this isn't cold calling or anything. This is a lead comes from an ad, a lead comes from social media, it's a referral. At any point, a lead comes to you. This is always how you should start your call. And I like to do 3 things. First, I like to confirm who I'm talking to. Hey, is this so-and-so? They'll say yes. Then I like to introduce myself, because if it's a lead and I'm calling them, I want them to basically put 2 and 2 together, know who they're talking to. So, hey, is it so-and-so? Yes, it is. Hey, how's it going? This is Nick with my company. I saw you filled out a lead form. Was wondering if you had like 2 minutes where I could just ask a couple questions and get you an accurate quote. So I'm always gonna ask for 2 minutes. That way it's very low time commitment on their end, but my goal is to pique their interest in those 2 minutes, keep them hooked, keep them engaged. That way I can talk to them for 15, 20, 30 minutes, however long it takes to close in. So otherwise, if you don't ask for 2 minutes, you're gonna have a lot more people telling you, hey, it's not a good time, just call me back another time. And then when you go to call them, it's gonna be very challenging to get them on the phone. So that's always how I start it. Point 2, you always wanna make sure that you're taking control of the call. Guide them, hey, I just need 2 minutes of your time to ask a couple questions, get you an accurate quote. Does that work for you? Does that sound good? And most likely they'll say yes. So always make sure that you're taking control and guiding the call. Now, once they say yes, don't rush. Take your time, deep breath, pause, like take your time when you're on the call, because your goal is to pique their interest and make sure that they're engaged, because if they are, they'll keep talking to you for 20 minutes. Like if they're interested, they filled out the ad, they were an inbound lead, like they wanted information. So if they're interested, they'll keep talking to you. Just after you say the 2 minutes and after they say yes, completely disregard that, like forget you even told them 2 minutes. Now, your third step, so first intro, second, take control. Third is qualifying your prospects. When you're on a call, you never want to pitch, or you never want to bring up anything about price, anything about your services until you ask questions. And these questions should take about 5 to 10 minutes. And these need to be really good, really deep, open-ended questions. You need your prospect to sell themselves on why they want your service, why they need your service, why your service is so important to them, why they're looking at it right now and not in the past or not in the future. Like, why is now a good time? Because if you ask really good, deep, open-ended questions, again, they're gonna sell themselves, but also that's gonna tap your sale into your prospect's emotion. Because now they're gonna open up about how important it is to get this service done, and they're gonna be more emotionally attached, so they're purchasing off of that instead of purchasing off of the price. A lot of the times what happens is people ask questions like, hey, what kind of car do you have? How many miles? What's the color? What are you looking for? What do you want from us? Like, they ask very basic questions, doesn't tap into their emotion, doesn't give them any information, just it's very baseline. You need to ask questions like, hey, what are you ideally hoping for out of a service like this? If they say paint protection, oh yeah, I mean, have you ever had any sort of paint protection before in the past? Yes, I have. Oh, awesome. What was your experience with that? What was the best part of it? Where'd you go to? Like, try and get more information and dive deeper into each of those questions. If they're talking about paint protection, figure out what the most important thing is that they're looking for out of the paint protection. Are they looking for easy maintenance? Are they looking for protection from rock chips, protection from scratches, protection from fading? Like, figure out what the most important parts are and dive deeper into that. Question them a little bit. Just let them open up, talk about it, and let them sell themselves on your service and why they need it and why they want it. Now that's step 3. One thing that's super important too is everything that they're telling you, listen, Like actually listen to them, because a lot of people don't do that. Listen to them, figure out what they're telling you, and remember that information, because that's what you're going to use when it comes to the next step, which is value building. Actually, the step after the next, because the next step is knowing how to transition. When I say transition, I mean going from qualifying questions to value building, because you're not going to ask a question and then jump straight into, okay, well, based on what you said, this is what you need. Because it's a lot of rambling. You need to take your time and get little points of confirmation throughout that call to make sure that your prospect on the other end of the phone call is actually actively engaged. So after you ask the questions, you'll transition and say something like, okay, perfect. I mean, based on what you said, like there's a bunch of routes that we can go, but I think there's like about one or two that really work best for you based on what you mentioned. So if it works for you, what I could do is just run through them, see if it's something that you're even interested in, and then if so, we can kind of go over what pricing would look like. Does that sound good? And most likely they'll say yes to that. Then you either recommend them one package or you recommend two. Depends on how you're pitching. For this example, we'll recommend them one. So after they say that, then you're gonna narrow down the package that fits them best based on the answers that they told you in the beginning of the call. So if rock chips were important, if maybe they don't want full protection, maybe they just want the front portion, okay, you're gonna recommend them on full front PPF. Now that's just an example, but obviously you'll figure out what fits them best. Now, step 5, as you can see here, building value. So when you're building value, don't build value on the step-by-step process that you're gonna do in order to install that service. People couldn't care less about that. If you're selling a premium service, you should already have the best quality installation. That shouldn't be something you're selling someone on because you're already advertising a premium company. So instead, you need to build value around what's important to them. For example, if they tell you rock chip protection is what's important to them because they drive their car into the mountains or they do a lot of mountain biking, whatever it is, like figure out what they told you was important to them, and you need to basically tap your service into the solution to their desired outcome or to their issue. And basically what you're doing in the beginning of your call is creating a gap. So you need to create a gap from where they currently are and where they want to be. And the larger that gap is, the more value you can build, which means that they're purchasing the destination. So they're purchasing the vehicle that gets them from where they currently are to where they want to be. So if you create a ton of value and you're basically showcasing how, hey, you mentioned you wanted all these things, like this service is the best option when it comes to getting you to that outcome. Like you're obviously not going to say that, but you're going to be like, this is the best option when it comes to getting those rock chips. You mentioned you do a lot of highway driving, and then talk about that. But basically showcase to them how, hey, this service is what's going to get you from point A to point B. And then what you can do is give them a slight breakdown on what that process looks like. So let's say that you're selling paint protection. So plug in how, hey, this is the best option when it comes to getting you to that goal. Now, a little bit of what that process looks like. Very first thing that we do is we're gonna do a full decontamination wash, and you're showcasing how you are different than everybody else and why that's so important. So we need to first do a full decon wash because this is what's gonna actually make the film last the full 10 years. Last thing I wanna happen is the edges start peeling, and then you have to bring it back, and then it's a whole ordeal. So what we do is we take a full 4 hours to prep the car, make sure everything is stripped from all contaminants, rust particles, everything like that. So do the full decon, then from there we'll install the film and give some very brief bullet points of installing that film. So decon, installation, and then your inspection process or something like that. And then from there, you're basically making it very clear as to, hey, first, this is what's going to get you to that goal. This is what that process looks like. And then showcase the benefits, and then you can give them a couple extra benefits on top of it as well. So you're gonna be like, this is what's gonna give you the rock chip protection. Since we're wrapping the edges, you don't have to worry about any little rock chips getting around the edges. So you're building the value around that, and then you'll say, but also on top of that, this paint protection film, it's also self-healing. It also has UV protection, so you don't have to worry about the paint fading. It's also gonna enhance the shine of the vehicles and allow it for easy maintenance too. So give those extra glamour shot benefits as well, so it just builds a little bit extra value on top of it. Now, value is very important. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it very simple. This is the service that's going to get you to that goal. And then a very brief bullet points of what that process looks like and what the benefits are. Now, after you do that, again, you're going to have a transition period. So you need to first confirm, hey, is this something that you're even interested in? Step 6, transition to the pitch. I mean, based on everything I said, does that sound like something you feel like you'd be interested in? If they say yes, then okay, you know they're sold on the service. The only thing that should hold them back is the price. But if they come back and they're like, yeah, I mean, I think we just want to think about it a little bit. They come back with objections before you even get to the pitch. Now you know that you lost them somewhere in the service. So what you need to do is figure out, okay, where did I lose them? And then re-pitch and then confirm again. So maybe you lost them because they didn't want the full front. Maybe they just want front bumper only. okay, repitch them on that, let them know, hey, this is still a great option. And then afterwards ask them, does that sound like something that would maybe be a better fit? And then they say yes, okay, now you can move on. Step 7, this is basically when you're structuring your pitch. You never really want to just pitch with a very basic price. You don't want to say, okay, perfect, for that it comes out to $2,400. I don't personally like that because it's very bland. You blend with everybody else and it doesn't make people interested in what you have to offer. So there's a few different ways you can pitch. You have an irresistible offer, you have a price anchor, or you can also do a comparison close too. Irresistible offer, this is something that's very easy. The way it looks is, hey, I mean, like I mentioned, a couple of routes we can go. This is really the one that would work best for you. Typically, something like that we charge about $3,700 for, but we do have a New Year's special running at the moment. We have 2 spots left, so it brings the price down from $3,700 all the way down to only $2,750, and then sit there and pause after. So it gives you a bit more room because now if they try and think about it, okay, there's more urgency, gives you a little bit more room to kind of handle objections with them, makes it a little bit easier on your end. Another option is price anchoring. Price anchoring is basically pitching them at a higher price, and then from there you narrow them down towards a cheaper one. It makes the second package look a little bit cheaper. So it's something like, yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, there's 2 different routes that we can go. You have option A, which is $4,250, but honestly, I don't even think that's something you really need at the moment because it also includes this, this, and this. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really think that would be the best fit for you. I think if you went with option B, that would honestly be perfect. And option A, it's $4,250, and option B is only $3,250, so you also save $1,000 from it. So that's another way that you can pitch. You're pitching the first option, it's more expensive, so that way they're gonna think about that first, and then $37, it just seems a bit cheaper because of that. So that's another way. And then you also have a comparison close as well. A comparison close is basically just comparing the costs if they didn't do it, as opposed to what it is if they did do it. So that's like more when you're handling objections, you could bring up more of the comparison close. Now, once you pitch, what you want to do is pitch the price and then stop talking. Now, step 8 is objection handling. So when you're handling objections, there's a couple things I want you to take note of. First, be persistent. Don't get off the call with someone until you know that there's a 0% chance that they're ever going to move forward. So if they tell you they want to think about it, don't get off the call, figure out what they want to think about. If they want to talk to their spouse about it, don't get off the call, figure out what they want to talk to their spouse about. You need to peel back the layers and figure out exactly what is holding them back. Because an objection is just an excuse for what's really holding them back. If you peel back those layers, you know how to deliver the questions properly without putting sales pressure on people, then you'll be able to figure out what the objection is, and that way you can overcome the objection. Because if they want to think about it, but you find out it's a price objection, okay, then handle the price objection and close them that way. If it's a value objection, okay, handle the value objection and close them that way. So be very persistent. Don't get off the call until you know that there's a 0% chance that they're ever going to move forward, and continuously peel back those layers to get to the root of what the problem is. And once you know that, then you can handle the objections. The last step, once you handle objections, let's say that they don't close, they stopped responding to you, they're starting to ghost you. Now you have step 9, which is your follow-up process. You should have 3 different follow-up stages. Step 1 is the first 30 days. This is when your leads are going to be contacted the most, because most of your clients are closed within the first 14 days. So you want to be very persistent, continuously provide value. You need to figure out how to stand out and provide value. Don't just blend in with everybody else who's trying to follow up, because a lot of the times that will result in you saying, hey, just following up, hey, just circling back, hey, is this something that you're still interested in? And that doesn't work. People get tired of that. It's very boring, and you're going to get a very low response rate from that. So instead, provide information, provide testimonials, showcase the benefits, different things like that. After 30 days, that's when the lead gets thrown into stage 2 follow-up, which is day 30 until day 90. So you're going to tone back the frequency a little bit, follow up a little bit less often, and just continue to provide information. You can pitch them with irresistible offers, but again, just continue to provide information. Testimonials, just build some more trust, build some more credibility. If they still haven't closed after day 90, throw them into follow-up stage 3. That's day 91 until 12 months. That's when you're just basically little points of contact here and there, holiday follow-ups, providing information here and there, providing offers here and there. Just touch base maybe once a week, once every other week, just to basically make sure that you're still there, you're still in contact, you're still popping up. With your follow-up, you're basically just trying to catch people at the right time, but continuously provide information so that way they learn more about your business, the benefits, everything like that. And so that way they get sold on your services. Because maybe there's like one video in particular that they see and they're like, okay, I really want that. Maybe it related to them because the car they had, maybe there was a pain point that person had, and maybe they have the same one, so they watch the video, relates to them. So there's that side of it, but also catching at the right time. Maybe someone hasn't blocked you or hasn't told you, hey, I'm not interested, because they still have interest, but they're just waiting for the right time. And maybe they catch a paycheck, and then you follow up with them, and then at that point, they move forward. So you just want to be very persistent with that. Now, that is a full breakdown of my sales process. If you want more one-on-one help, I do offer a 90-day one-on-one coaching program where you work with me directly, and I'll basically guide you every single step of the way of how to structure your social media account as a way to warm up, nurture your leads, and attract more of those higher ticket clients. I can even teach you more of an organic lead flow approach, but the main thing I focus on is a high ticket sales training. I basically teach you every single step of your sales process, from how to properly introduce yourself to how to properly follow up. We build out automated follow-up procedures, but we also do direct call feedback. We do weekly or bi-weekly coaching calls. There's 24/7 tech support with me directly. So if that's something you're interested in, there's a link in the description below to schedule a call with me, and we can talk more about it. I can learn more about your business, see if you qualify, and then from there, I will put together a full strategy breaking down exactly how we will help you achieve your goals. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click the link in the description below. If you have any questions in the meantime though, I'll also have my Instagram link down below. You're more than welcome to reach out to me on Instagram with any questions that you have. So that is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.